While we hear a lot about the upcoming referendum on Britain's EU membership, a separate public consultation due on Wednesday in the Netherlands has not made big headlines. Yet the vote is also set to be a tough test for the bloc. On paper, the referendum is about saying yes or no to a European treaty deepening ties with Ukraine. The broad political, trade and defense deal is already provisionally in place, but it needs to be ratified by all 28 EU member states to come fully into force. The ball is now in the Netherlands court. The EU's accord with Ukraine was signed in March 2014, after a popular uprising toppled the country's pro-Russian government. The protests in Kiev had started out peacefully, but when Russia annexed Crimea, the crisis erupted into a bloody war in the country's east. The Dutch became collateral victims in July 2014, when flight MH17 crashed in eastern Ukraine with nearly 200 Dutch nationals on board. The Netherlands has blamed pro-Russian forces for downing the plane and doesn't seem to hold any grudge against Ukraine. But the anti-EU, anti-immigration Freedom Party of right-wing populist Geert Wilders is now leading in polls, and some analysts say he has turned the referendum into a bid to tear the EU apart. The government, which is campaigning for a yes, fears the referendum could turn into a protest vote like in 2005, when a majority of the Dutch electorate broke from a pro-European tradition and rejected the EU constitution. 11 years later, the migration crisis, austerity policies and a sluggish economy have further fueled anti-EU sentiment in the country. With a recent opinion poll showing the no is in the lead with almost 66%, Wednesday's vote could deal a fresh blow to the EU, not to mention to Ukraine.